Back in session as of 9:25. And I need to announce the superintendent's evaluation is highly effective. A consensus of the board.
You have to make a
Mr. President,
motion to adopt.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the overall rating of highly effective for Mr. Abdulahad's evaluation.
All right.
I'll second, Gloria. I'll second your motion,
All
Gloria.
right, Ms. Castle, thank you. Discussion. All right, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Kimball,
Yes.
Mr. Holcomb,
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson,
Yes.
Mrs. Castle,
Yes.
Mrs. Ott,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
No.
Mr. Pittman.
Going to abstain.
Motion carries 5-1.
I believe in abstain is, won't you count the vote? No? Okay, sorry.
Mrs. Thompson, is there another motion you want to make?
Yeah, I thought we were going to remove number 7, though, attorney-client privilege.
We haven't gotten to that.
We haven't got
Okay.
to the,
I'm going to make another amend. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda pursuant to section 9 of the superintendent's extension of contract.
all right.
I'm sorry, can you repeat
Do we have a
that,
second?
Thompson? Can you repeat that?
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda pursuant to section 9 of the superintendent's extension of contract.
I'll second it.
All right, discussion.
When did this get added to the agenda?
Jean added right now, she's amending.
I'm amending.
Mr. President,
Yes.
you are approving this addition to the
We're
addition to
voting
the
on-
agenda?
We're voting on amending the agenda right now.
Okay, I mean, well, I just know in the past, you haven't even allowed it to be voted on.
No, everybody can make a motion to amend the agenda.
Yeah, all right.
It's been voted down in the past. Yeah, shake your head. All right. No discussion, then we vote. Roll call vote on amending the agenda for purposes of superintendent's contract.
Mr. Kimball,
Yes.
Mr. Pittman,
And this is for adding it. This isn't for voting on the contract?
Now this is for amending the agenda.
Okay. No.
Mr. Holcomb,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
No.
Mrs. Thompson,
Yes.
Ms. Castle,
Yes.
Mrs. Ott.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-2.
All right. What motion would you like to add to the agenda, Mrs. Thompson?
She just,
To extend the contract? Is that what we're doing now?
Well, we're
You
approving it.
wanted to add the motion.
Excuse
You
me,
don't even know
Mr.
what you want to add?
Excuse me, Mr. Pittman.
It's a
You're out
joke,
of order.
a
You're out
joke.
of order. You're out of order. You're a joke.
You're out of order, board president.
No.
No.
So what exactly is the motion to add or to approve the addendum to his contract extending the term?
Correct. To
Alright.
extend,
I have a
Mr.
comment.
Pittman.
This, Mr. President, I'm sorry. May I
Yes,
speak?
yes.
The reason that the motion was made is because we couldn't extend his contract until after his evaluation.
That is
correct.
in his contract that we review and possibly extend his contract at the conclusion of his
Evaluation. Okay.
evaluation. Yes,
Yep.
that's what.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. President,
Ms.
if
Castle.
we refuse or do not take action on this, we're in breach of his contract.
Correct.
Correct,
We didn't do it properly last time.
right.
I think
That was,
because we
that was overlooked. That was an error last time, yes.
well, maybe because we didn't have the proper training or knowledge that we have now. But if we don't take action on this particular item that Gloria brought to the table, then we're breaching his contract.
Correct.
Correct. The extension, it starts at the original term, same pay, extends to June 30th. And fine.
Has anyone seconded the motion? If not, I will.
Did we have a motion yet?
Yes, Gloria just
Gloria
said it.
Gloria made the motion.
extend
You
it
made the
till-
motion and she said yes.
She made a motion to change the agenda.
Right.
Now we have to vote on
Wanna-
his contract.
Sarah, did anyone second that motion?
Yes, I did.
Miss Ott
Okay.
just did.
All right, discussion then.
Okay, I have not seen the new contract. When did we
It
get
was
this?
emailed to you this afternoon, this evening, yeah,
Yes,
What
today?
time? What time?
5:30.
5:30.
Okay, so 5:30, and I'm expected to get this contract, look over this contract.
The contract, Ms. Scott, has not changed. This is just an addendum on extension.
Correct.
The terms of the
Okay,
contract
could,
has not
okay,
changed.
Mr. Abdullah, hold on a second.
Sure.
Could I not have comments from other board members until I grasp my head around this? Okay, so this contract was emailed to us at what time? 5:30?
About 5:30.
Correct.
Okay, 5:30. So we're supposed to absorb this information before this meeting.
Well, it's a one-page addendum. One
Okay.
page.
And when did we find out that we were in breach of his contract? When did we find this out?
I don't understand your question.
So Ms. Castle said that we're breaching his contract because if we don't do something about his contract now, we're in breach of it.
You
When
have
did
to,
we-
in
Beth, I
section
can
9,
answer
Ms.
that.
Scott,
Beth, I
Oh.
called Mr. Abdullah and asked him what would happen if we took no action on this. I wanted to be prepared to know what my responsibility was on this item. So I asked him. He told me no action would equal a breach of his contract.
And
And
when
he
was this?
brought to my attention,
President,
did not do that last year.
Okay,
Yes,
when
Mr. Thompson.
when did you bring this to Mr. Abdullah's attention?
Today I called him. Because I have a question, which any one of you board members can do at any time. You have a question about an
Get
item.
me
you
out of
call
here.
And get an answer. And that's what I took upon myself to do.
Mrs. Thompson, you have the floor.
Mr. Abdullah, am I correct in saying that we had until December 20th to take action on this, or we
It-
were in breach?
So
Oh,
yeah,
it's on
it's a regular board meeting. So the only regular board meeting in December is this one. The one on the 14th is a special board meeting for the audit report.
Correct. Okay.
We have to take,
Last
action.
year, I will say this, last year you did breach my contract. And I could have brought on legal action, but legal action would have cost the district money. And so I chose not to take action on that because we're basically hurting ourselves. And so I chose not to take action on it. And if you don't take action again, you would be in breach again of my contract.
Mr. Abdullah, excuse me, this is Beth.
Yeah.
Did you bring that to the board? That
I
you knew you were in breach?
emailed board president this summer, but
And
again,
board president didn't inform the board.
because I chose not to take action, but I did notify him and say, hey, but I chose not to take legal action because it would have cost us money. So I
But
let it be.
My
Okay.
point is that this board is uninformed.
No, I,
You
were
I think,
informed.
I think this board is informed. I just chose not to take action on it because I didn't want to hurt the district.
Well, Ms. Scott, would you like us to take a few minutes while you read the one page? We can
No,
do
I
that.
think, no, I would like to add this and have a special meeting on this alone. That's what I would like.
we can't.
We have until December 20th, Ms. Thompson just said.
Has to be at a regular board meeting.
Has to be a regular board meeting, according to his contract.
So if Mr. Abdullah knew this in the summertime, why wouldn't we have done it previous to December?
Because it's all,
Not due till December.
you do the, it says on section 9 of my contract is the board shall take action on the extension of the superintendent's contract. So in December, you're supposed to take action on official action. You actually have to take a vote on my extension. If you don't, then you breach my contract. And so my legal remedies would be to take legal action against the district, which would hurt the district. So I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. Do I think about myself and hurt the district, or do I let things just go? And so I chose just to let things go. And so here we are again. But at one point, you can't just continue to let things go, Ms. Scott. I mean, you have to
you're right.
honor a
You're right.
contract.
You're right. I would have liked to have this been brought to the board in October or November at the regular board meeting. I would have liked to have had days to look over the contract, whether it be one page or not.
It's not a
Whether it
contract.
be,
One
President-
page.
Mr. President,
whether,
Yeah,
can I
Mrs.
finish?
Thompson,
May
you
I
have the
finish?
floor.
May I finish what I was going to say to Mr. Abdullah? I would have liked to have had the time to look at the addendum of this. I would have liked to have this have been done prior to a few days, and no regular board meeting was going to happen, is my point.
Mr. President,
Mrs. Thompson, go ahead.
can I just point out that we're not changing his contract? We're not giving him a raise. Everything that was put in his contract stays. All this is an extension of his contract.
Correct.
Mr. President,
Mr. Pittman.
would Mr. Abdullah have an issue with reading section 9 of his contract?
I'll be happy to read it.
Got to ask.
Out loud.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna read it.
What purpose would it be to read it? No.
I'm looking for it right now.
One question, Mr. Abdullah had, would this change your evaluation date for next year?
No, nothing is changing in this contract. My
So
salary is staying the same, the
could we-
benefits stays the same.
But could we change your evaluation date? As I emailed you, could we change
You
it? to when we-
you cannot bargain with me in public. It's against the law.
Okay.
You would have to
Okay,
bargain with
understand.
me in closed session.
Understandable. Understandable.
Yep.
You gonna read that section 9,
I'm
Mr. Abdullah?
looking at it.
Oh, I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Pitt.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Okay, section 9 states, the superintendent shall be evaluated in December regular board meeting of each year during the terms of this agreement. Failure to take action within the indicated timeline shall result in a highly effective rating. The current evaluation instrument approved by the Board of Education is one developed by the law firm Collins and Blaha. Upon completion of the formal evaluation, the board shall consider a one-year renewal or extension and take formal action on the agenda. Now, part of that, if you think about that, if the board takes no action, I get a highly effective, but I've been pursuing this board to give me a rating and to get feedback. I wasn't trying to hide anything. I wanted the feedback. And so failure for the board to take action would automatically give me a highly effective, yet I didn't choose to follow that. I chose to pursue that and get feedback from this board so I could improve.
When does that contract end?
2020, June 30th, 2022.
And what is the amendment that we're voting on?
25.
So it says that section 9 didn't say 1 year?
Yeah, but you breached last year's, and 1 year is just the minimum. You could negotiate with me longer period.
We can, yeah, but so I just so everyone knows, we don't have to do 3 years.
Right, we don't. You're right.
But we choose
So
to
we owe
retain
him
our
2 years.
superintendent. We choose
Already.
to retain our superintendent over him interviewing someone else. Again, so.
Is there, if I could, maybe someone knows, is there I think there's a limit on how long of a contract you can have with the
It's
superintendent.
5 years.
5
and we're
years.
well below that threshold, Mr. Pittman.
Okay,
5 years. All right, any other discussion?
I feel that the 3-year, the period, the extension we're giving him, I feel like we want to keep him on board. He's done an exceptional job. I don't want to lose him to another district. That's my personal opinion.
Well,
I agree with that. The superintendent shortage. We would be worse off if we left, definitely.
Mr. President, if I may, this does not stop him from leaving.
I don't
No.
want to leave.
I know, but it doesn't
Does
stop
not.
you.
It doesn't stop, but 2025 allows me
It-
to end my
it
career
certainly
here
helps.
and retire from here. I would like to retire from Madison District and then work at Home Depot after I retire.
Well-
So at 2025 will give me 30 years, would give me 30 years in the public school sector, and I would like to retire from Madison District Public Schools.
Would you like to buy
All right.
some years?
I bought 5 years in 2001.
I'm just,
No, I mean, no, literally in when you first start teaching, they don't do that anymore. You were allowed to purchase universal years.
mhm.
In 2002, I purchased 5 universal years towards my retirement. So yes, although I won't have 30 years, physically working, I will have my 25 years working. I started in 01, Mr. Pittman.
All right, anybody
So
else?
this just gives you the ability to retire in 25. That doesn't mean that you are going to
Miss,
retire in
Miss Ott,
25.
have you seen all the gray hair I've acquired over the last 2 years? Okay, I've acquired a lot of gray hairs, and I would like to retire while I have my sanity intact. So,
Well,
Too late.
if anything, it shows our commitment to the superintendent and that he's wanted here. That's simple. At least that's my opinion.
I agree.
Now, is there anybody else, or do we do a vote? Nope. Okay, Sarah, roll call vote.
Mrs. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Pittman,
No,
Mr. Holcomb,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
I'm going to vote no because I am uninformed and did not get the contract in time before the meeting. I vote no.
Mr. Kimball,
Yes.
Ms. Castle,
Yes.
Mrs. Ott.
Yes.
Motion carries 5 to 2.